Hello, this is Soul. This is a Dragonflight preview kind of video where I, read, react to stuff, share some thoughts with you, and then I leave it to you folks at home and elsewhere to leave your own thoughts and comments and whatnot. If you don't mind, like the video, subscribe for more Dragonflight coverage. And today, as said, we're going to be looking at a preview of the Dracthyr customization options. A lot of folks in the initial review had kind of a mixed bag of things to say about the appearances, the sizes, and things like that. Now we have more to show you and more for you to react to. So we'll start off by reading the little caption here. The new Dracthyr race provides a variety of features to customize your character, including bold horn options, a diverse palette of colors to choose from, and more. In this preview, we show off more of the choices available for you to fully express your Dracthyr form. And that's it. That's pretty much all there is to read. And the rest of it is things to show you, and we'll get right to it. I have things kind of loaded up, and we're just gonna take a look at stuff together, leave some comments and commentary, etc, etc, etc. So here we're first looking at the different horn, and I guess the what are these? Fins, I guess? Fins, neck options. These all seem to be linked to the same thing. So I'm not quite sure if it's like, okay, the horns have to be the same, the horns and the fins or whatnot, that those run together. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be a thing. It seems like it seems like it's not, because you can see like the second and third one here, like this black dragon dude, he has, this certain horn shape, but then the one next to it has kind of a, has a very different horn shape. In fact, has different like kind of eyebrow horn-like things, more horns over there. But then you see this, these fins right here are the same. So we're seeing different things with eyebrows. I think the eyebrows and the little, the little chin or the little side face things, those are kind of linked together. The horns are a separate thing. The fins are a separate thing too. You can kind of tell here with the way that the skin is. On this third one here, you can see it's kind of like, it has kind of this same pattern sort of looking thing along with these streaks here. Maybe those streaks are separate, because you see like the patterns here are kind of the same, as well as this kind of gradient. This might be related to the kind of skin color this is. So these two might be the same, just different skin colors. This is totally different. So kind of a lot of options that we're seeing. And the horn options are pretty wild looking so far. We can see like there are eye color options. I'm not quite sure if these color options are like, okay, you can change the colors, or are they linked to anything else? It's hard to tell if like the iris is also something that can be changed. I mean, you see like the same, you see the same shape here, same shape here. And I guess the other thing to pay attention to is the snout. So there are actually quite a few options that we're seeing differences, like the snout length, the overall shape. Is it like kind of a like stubby like this one? Does it come out like these two? And you can see this one has more like kind of an axe shape, whereas this one it's a little bit more a bit more blunt. So let's move on a little bit. These are crazy ram horn looking things. So yeah, we're seeing some of the same shapes, but lots of different colors. Oh, this one's wild. This is like long blood elf ear. Wild. And it looks like the ears are, yeah, the ear shape is different too. Yeah, there are tons of options on these things. I'm trying to look. Okay, so like the way that these fins are, like these aren't even fins, they're just like spikes, but then they're also kind of different. And here we see the color of the spikes are the same, which look like they kind of match what the horn is, but then this horn doesn't quite match either. Speaking of horns, there's one in the background, go me. But it looks like you can have a bit more subtle of oh, this one's wild. Ooh, that's like a crazy spoiler in the back of a modded Civic. Kind of wild. Sorry about the horn, guys. But yeah, there are a bit more subtle forms. I like the purple though. We got purple dragons. That's pretty sweet. And there are two-toned as well. So you can see like this one kind of has that two-tone, this one as well. And that looks really cool too. I really like the difference. It'd be cool if we can customize, one color is this, one color is that, and have different set there. Or it could just be more like a tattoo-ish pattern. Like notice here you have like these streaks here, but then it's different from this one right up here, which is different from these down here. So lots of differences that we're seeing. So this one definitely has a ram horn sort of look, but also has, yeah, not exactly the same. Yeah, they're so, oh, this one looks like hair. Oh, that's wild, dude. That is wild. Then here we have more of these gradient looking things. We have like tons of horn variety. Oh, wow, this is like, wow, that one is extreme. It straight up goes into this guy. Like this dude's like, dude, get off my stuff. And this one's like, sorry, buddy, I can't help it. He's got like multiple horns. A bunch of these have multiple horns, but yeah, it's just wild. Yeah, tons of, so every horn looks different, it looks like. But we're also seeing different kinds of fin shapes that go in the back. Some of these are the same color, but look at the colors, dude. There are a ton of different colors here. That's really cool. That's really neat. I like this so far. So far. All right, let's go to the kind of, I guess, the shapes here. Yeah, I think these are like these are overall just like a bunch of the different shapes, or I guess a bunch of like the full deliveries of all the, oh, they got like thigh horns. I don't know what to call them. Let's see, can we see differences on like the wings at all? So we see different, so I'm taking a look at the wings first. So different, yes, different colors, obviously. Ooh, we got like really cool colors. Very neat colors. Very bright, very vivid, but also very dark too. And I think I'm a big fan of the purple one. The purple one just looks, whoever set up this purple one, they made it specifically like this. Like this one's, whoever set this up, they're like, oh, this one's my favorite. Actually, all of them just look so freaking good. Like this one, oh, I love the colors on this guy. This guy looks badass. And they're all naked. But still cool. So here we have like kind of a traditional, you know, red looking dragon. Although it's funny because its head looks, the way these horns are, it makes the head look very, very flat, right? You know, like some folks are saying that these look like, you know, more salamanders, more lizard-like than dragon-like. You know, I kind of get the critique there. Although this one does look noticeably bulkier, and we'll go over that video that shows off the difference in like the sizes. This one looks like it's a bulkier one. This one seems to have a bigger chest than like this one and this one here. I think this one's like the medium. They kind of look the same. It's a little bit hard to tell. But seeing these folks in all their nakedish glory, they have some really cool skins. So you can see here the way, you know, the way the skin patterns are wildly different. And they all have crazy honking feet and claws. Oh, they got tail shapes too. Check it. So this dude's got freaking spiked tails. This one has an even fiercer spiked tail. That one's just a plain Jane tail. Sorry, Black Dragon, you're basic. This one looks like the tip of a spear. Oh, now there's so many little things to pay attention to here. I am baffled. So that's basic. Although there are like little spikes there on the side, it looks like. They have like kind of, oh, they also have arm spikes too. So in case, you know, I did see some shots of them wearing like armor and gloves and stuff. And so we'll take a look at those. But otherwise, you know, they seem to naturally have or not have these spikes. So I don't see them there, or actually maybe I kind of see them. Yeah, you can kind of see the spikes there. I guess their orientation was just a little bit different. I wonder if all of them are like supposed to have that. Yeah, because I don't see them here. So maybe those arm spikes are optional, or it can have like kind of a fin looking thing, which I can sort of see it here. Yeah, that's a little bit hard to tell. So here it's plainly flat, very plainly flat, and this is very plainly not. So dude, those tails are just gnarly. And then Purple Dragon has a straight up just big knife on his tail. One big blade. That's cool. Yeah, cool gradients here. Very cool. Chest looks the same though. Yeah, all the chestises have the same ish pattern. It's more like the arms, the legs, they have very, very different patterns. I mean, these two dragons look very different from each other. Like, this is the kind that you would see on like your traditional big dragon dude. This one seems to have like more emphasis on just like being able to show like a full face. So this has kind of a more humanoid sort of look, whereas yeah, so I'm going to be very interested to see like the facial expressions of the Dracthyr. Like here, this one looks plainly more animated than how this one would look, and so if they can both pull off that same effect, oh, that'll be wild. And this seems to be like, this is kind of a mix of both, where you have that you know, that older school dragon look, but it has a shape that looks like it could be like that much more animated. So as for which one's like a boy, which one's a girl, no idea. This one gives off the vibe. This one gives off a feminine vibe though. Like, she looks like, I'm a bad bitch, do not mess with me. And then we find out no, they were respected as a boy, but whatever. It's 2020, right? Funny how this one's head looks bigger than its body should. It's not, but by comparison at least, you have like the really long neck, but it still doesn't help. Their head just looks like so big. And they're like, but look at my tail. Ooh, look at my tail. It looks like there are, that looks like a broken horn, actually. They can do broken horns too. They can have asymmetrical horns. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. I wonder if all of them are going to be able to have that asymmetrical look, like one horn is broken, something like that. That would be a really cool option. Between the darker ones and the purples, those I think are kind of my favorite. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards dark or purple. Although the red one looks really cool too. And then the nuts, and then the darker. Okay, it's hard to choose. Very, very hard to choose. And plain. To me, looks kind of plain. All right, let's look at the third screenshot, which I believe is armor. So this is what's kind of wowing me at the moment. So earlier we had learned there were going to be very limited cosmetic transmog options for the Dracthyr. If I recall correctly, I heard tabard, belt, and I think shoulders, and like that was it. That was it. No capes, obviously no feet, no gloves, none of that stuff. But now we're seeing these screenshots, and I'm wondering to myself, okay, is this kind of like a heritage armor sort of thing, where this is like a special Dracthyr armor that only they would be able, you know, the only things that we would be able to see them in full armor in? Or are we going to see, did they change their tone? Did they change their minds and decide, okay, you know what, let's try to make things work? So there are things that definitely might not work. So like, for example, this one here isn't wearing pants. No pants, no shoes. But they are clearly wearing like something that I would say is kind of like a tabard, but it very clearly has 3D effects too. They're wearing a helmet that very much seems designed for them, along with these gloves here. But this could also easily be like a single piece that acts as the chest. Now here we can see like almost full armor. It looks like pants, but I'm gonna guess that they might not be pants. This might be like a crazy tabard or a crazy chest that just happens to be designed specifically for this. But you can't transmog the legs. But clearly, dude's wearing shoes. They are set. They are customized exclusively for the Dracthyr. But it's still pretty awesome to see that, along with a helmet that fits them like really, really well. I'm very wowed by this. Those look like weapons too. It's hard to tell because they're like, you know, I can't tell like what sort of standing position that they're in. It almost looks like they're holding a one-handed weapon, but I don't know if it's sheathed or not. This would, yeah, it could go either way. It could go either way, but very cool. This one you can see is kind of in motion, not exactly a hovering motion, but we still see it like up, and it looks good on them. Let's look at this third one. So this third one, And we're seeing like different colors here. You can see shoulders, bracers. So maybe these are bracers actually. That could be it. Now these do act like kind of full-on arm guards, so these might go in the glove slot, but maybe they're going to allow wrists, which would be cool. But at least, but the problem with that though is that there are so many other wrist options, and all of them are very flat, and these clearly have a 3D look to it. But it still works really well. Like it's not perfect. Like you can see here, it's kind of like just like a flat line. It's just a flat cutoff. And you know, we see something. I don't know if it's a tabard or not. It could be a chest, could be a tabard. There might have been a tweet that explained it already, and I missed it. But I love the helmets. I love that the helmets, that they fit, that they don't clip funny, and that the horns are still able to go through. I mean, imagine like wearing like an old school vanilla helmet from, you know, a male vanilla helmet. It just wouldn't work right with the Dracthyr face. So I can definitely understand why there are challenges with that. But for all we know, maybe these are like set customization options too, where instead of gear, you just unlock these different customization options that are designed for them. And that seems like it would be a big burden on the team. Oh, check that, there are rings. I didn't notice this on the earlier screenshots. This dude had, hold on. I did not see no rings on any of these guys. There's so many little details to like pay attention to. That's awesome, dude. Okay, so this dude pierced his wings. That's badass for a green. I'm being kind of a hater. So we see again, we have wrists, we have shoulders, we have you know, this thing that acts as like a male chest. Could be a tabard instead. Is this the same shape as the? So this looks like the same shape, or I'm sorry, yeah, same shape, different color. This is a different one, and this is, so there are 3 different shapes that we can identify so far. But these two have different colors. You know, normal dungeon, heroic dungeon could be something like that. But it still shows off like all the details, all the chosen details, the spike stuff here. This one doesn't seem to have spiky arms, but it still shows off everything that the Dracthyr is, just with like some extras. So it looks like these look like feet. So it looks like transmoggable feet will be available. It just might be like only certain options. And then this last one, this one is looks like it's the same as the caster one, but then we could see that when you pierce, This one, they go all the way with the piercings and kind of things that are sort of like, like just more piercing things, covers, ear covers, bracers. It looks like. Yeah, I wonder if these are going to be like new special bracer types that we'll be able to like see visual. That would be awesome. I would love to see that on all characters, to see bracers that have more 3D effects, because I think there's like very, very few, if any of those. And then these are like I admit they're kind of pathetic excuses for shoes. Notice here that these are the same though. You know, that the patterns here, the between the bracers and, you know, these little leg wraps, feet wraps, talon wraps, I don't know. They're kind of the same. So it's either a matching set, or you can, you know, where you equip one and then both appear, or in the case of this, you know, you only have one at a time and you could just kind of transmog them a la carte like normal. So it could go either way. But wow, there are just tons of details here. Okay, so finally, let's go back to the web. Let's go back to the web page because I want to take a look at the video. Well, I saw this while I was out and about, so I only really saw this on my phone. But it looks like there are 4 sizes to choose from. So this is the thin size, where you can see like they're kind of like bottom heavy. They got them thick legs, holla, but then, you know, pretty petite up top. And then here I'll start from this. I'll start from the top here. So here's number 1, and then number 2. So we see like this slight difference in just like the chest. So there's the before, and here's the after. So you got a little bit more on the arms, shoulders. The overall torso gets bigger, but the difference between 1 and 2 is just that. And then when we go from 2 to 3, So here's 2, and then here's 3. So this again is kind of the same thing. It's more like the upper body. So the upper torso plus shoulders get a little bit bigger, a little bit less on the arms, more on the shoulders here. And then when we go to the fourth and final one, here we get like the thickening. So the entire body gets thickened up. You can see a little bit more on the, like, notice you can see a little bit more on the neck. You know, the, I don't know muscle groups, but like their back gets a little bit bigger. Everything gets like a little bit bigger, with the exception of the hands and parts and like the toes. Hands stay the same. Toes are the same. Tail looks the same. Wings are the same. But is this thick enough? You know, there are folks out there that want like a big, beefy sort of dragon, even though these are meant to be casters, as much as people are still kind of in denial over it. Like, no, we want to have them be other classes, and who knows? You know, they might change their tone, but I do like that they thicken them up, like at least a little bit. But at the same time, I would love to see them in action too. I want to see like full-on spell animations and like to see how like their full movement goes. That way we can see them with like their armor and see what happens with their wings, you know, and all that stuff. And that'll at least tell me that if they are that they're moving with their body type in mind. That if they made them too thick, then it would just like look really weird with like massive clipping, and I would hate for that to happen too. Of course, we could easily argue for, hey, you know what? They should make the animation style fit like the bigger dragons first, so that way they can avoid that sort of clipping, and then, you know, they can work their way down from there to make sure that it still looks okay. So I can still get the critique. I still stand by the whole idea that these are like biological weapons. These are walking, talking weapons. That was their origin story, and that when Neltharion at the time, when he made these creatures, you know, it's like making a new character in like a Elder Scrolls or a Fallout game. You just pump all them stats into intelligence, and like this is what you get. You get someone that's a little bit more lanky. But I'd say that these are more, you know, this definitely looks more thick than normal, than, you know, what we have seen. And I think this works out. They still look plenty intimidating. I don't want to see a naked dude like this walking down the street. I would cross the street. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. As for you guys, though, I would love to hear your folks' thoughts and reactions to some of the changes and the new additions. There just straight up seems to be like a lot of options available for the Dracthyr. So far, I'm a little bit jealous because of you know what current characters have, and I'd love to see more for everyone. But at least for the Dracthyr, big palette of stuff. There's a big palette. There are tons of options. They weren't joking when there were like so many different combinations on how you want to customize your Dracthyr. But again, I would love to know what you folks think. Thanks for showing up with me. I know I came out with this a little bit late, but I'd love to again hear your reactions. Please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe for more Dragonflight content and coverage, and I'll see you guys for the next thing. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.